Welcome to the Future Forum. I want to begin by thanking you for being here and thinking with us, why the future? As any newspaper worthy of the ink it's printed on, or rather the data package you have to use to read us these days, we have to think about why this story matters. Why do you want to give us your time to read something we've written about, to watch a video that we've edited and worked on? And it's because it matters to you. And so, of course, what can matter more than the future? But in a region like ours, unfortunately, the future is not what we usually think about. We have wars impacting some of our oldest civilizations, from Iraq, Syria, Yemen, and others. And we face dark forces that want to take us back to the dark ages. And yet, there are certain countries who don't want change because the status quo benefits those that yield power. And yet, we're lucky to be in a country that pushes us to change, that pushes us to be our better selves. And so I'm proud that the National comes to you from Abu Dhabi and from the UAE, where we are told to be our better selves and to think about what are the challenges facing us today and facing us tomorrow, and how we will be the ones who are able to forge and shape that future. So that's the reason we have you today, and that's the reason we will be thinking about this for the long term. And so, from philanthropy to scientific advancement to cultural booms that we witness here in the UAE, the future is in our sights. The only way to emerge from the turmoil that the rest of the region, unfortunately, or much of the region suffers from, is if we can pivot to the future. And if we can give promise to all those who call this region home, but particularly young people, who make up, the numbers vary, 50%, 60%, 70%, but even if they made up only 1%, they're the ones who are going to forge our future. And so we owe them the benefit and the time to think about the future. The world is facing problems you're all aware of that are sometimes called complex problems, wicked problems. What in reality people are trying to say when they call these problems wicked or complex is that they're connected and all depend on our cooperation to think of a better tomorrow. And that's what we want to address here: local, regional, and global issues. With less than 7 hours and 18 speakers, time is limited. So of course, we won't be able to give you everything we want to discuss. However, that's why this will be a 12-month initiative and a long-haul initiative for the National. Part of our thinking when we're thinking about this 12-month initiative is to have the National Fellows, which I'm proud to announce here. With the Emirates Youth Council, we have already been lucky enough to find 6 young Emiratis who will be thinking with us for the next 12 months and informing our editorial content about what they want to see in their future and how we can look into it. And we will also be coaching them on how they can express themselves and work with us at formulating these stories. There are many other announcements throughout the day, but I wanted to tell you about this one because it's the one we're really excited about. I also just want to take a moment to thank, first of all of you who are here, the National team that have worked tirelessly to make this a success for you. And also want to thank the leadership of IMI. We relaunched in July of 2017 under IMI. We have our CEO, Mr. Abdul Hadi Sheikh, but particularly I want to thank the chairman of our board, Dr. Sultan al-Jaber, who's here with us, despite his very busy schedule, and because we've been given a mandate to think differently, to write differently, and to push the boundaries. One aspect that concerns us particularly is the future of news, and that's what you'll hear us talking about quite a bit today, and we'll also have an announcement about that at the end. As one of our columnists wrote in his column today, Gavin Essler, if you pick up the National today, you'll be able to read his brilliant column on the future. He says, the best way to predict the future is simply to create it. So welcome and help us create the future.